this. These are my posters, which I've shown you before. The Shining, it's a slightly oblique one. That's Jaws, obviously. Doctor Who, blah 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 blah. They go all the way up the stairs there to turn the light on. I've put them all up with the same sticky stuff. I bought these special sticky tabs rather than just sellotape, so that they sit nice and flat against the wall. Now, just what's going on here? What's that about? And it's just this one. You know, the others are all nice and flat. There's a bit of bulge there, but you know you can expect that a little bit. And there's a bit of bulge there, and there's a tiny bit of bulge there, and that one looks pretty flat up there. But Doctor Who, it's got this fucking bulge here, and it's like you can see it's kind of looks slightly slid down the wall. There's the sticky where the sticky thing has slid down. It's not just a poster. The whole sticky thing seems to have slid down. Now what's that about? Is it the TARDIS? It have all the weight of space and time in there. It's causing it to sag down. It's dragging it down. Gravity has more effect on this poster than the others. I mean, what the hell is that about? It's not the only one as well. Look, that's fairly flat. That's fairly flat. It's flat enough. Oh, look at this one. Look, this is just the same. There's a huge bulge on the bottom of Jurassic Park here, and you can see there where the bit of the sticky thing's sticking up. Except only on that side. I don't know what the hell's happened there. I mean, it looks like, look at that bulge. It's like it's pregnant. Congratulations. What is it? It's an A4. A bit astonished about why that happens to just some of the posters. Just something that struck me today. Pregnant posters. See, these are the baby posters. So that's my thinking process today. Is my posters are falling down. In fact, they're not falling down. They're just sort of sagging. You know, a poor man's version of falling down. Johnny Mnemonic. Have you seen that Johnny Mnemonic? It's hilarious. It's set in, I'm not sure what year it's set in, but it's something set in the future from when it was made. It's made in the 1990s, and it's set in like 2020, something like that. And the idea is that Keanu Reeves plays Johnny Mnemonic, and he's wiped out like half his brain, lots of his childhood memories and stuff, in order that he can store data in there. And he can store as much as 180 gigs of data. In 2020, fucking hell! Why carry it on a memory stick like you can do these days when you can put it in his brain? So I think they slightly underestimated where technology was going back when they made that film. I think it's 180, it might be 160, it's definitely 100 and something, because I remember thinking, fucking hell, you know, get a flash drive, Jesus, send it in the post. He's travelling across the world in order to deliver this very important data. Maybe the data in his head is information about how to store data on a little stick. My videos are starting to build traction now that I'm doing them more regularly. My last sort of 6 or 7 videos have all got likes. I think pretty much all have got likes. Some have got, one of them's got 5 likes. There's one video I did which was connected to my quiz. I took a scene from Scream 5 and I re-edited it, doing my voice as the voice on the phone, talking to Janet Ortega at the beginning of Scream 5. And I just did it as a little promo for my quiz, which I put on Facebook. And then I thought, I might as well just stick it on YouTube as well and see how it does. And it's got like 380 views over 3 days, you know, which is considerably more than all my other videos. So I'm pleased about it. It's just a shame that it's that one, you know, in a way, because it's not one of these. These are the ones that I'm doing daily. That's kind of like a one-off, really. And it's got 10 likes and no dislikes or unlikes or A likes. Things are going right. Miles away there for a second. Miles away, miles away. That reminds me of this book. I'm gonna advertise my books again. There's a chapter in here. I have this concept of miles away. Is that when people like go miles away, go like into a trance like that? Huh? What? Sorry. They literally go miles away and they appear in this legendary kind of ethereal place. And when you go there, it's surrounded by people who are like that, who are just sort of talking about whatever it is they're thinking in their head. I wonder if did I pay the milk bill yesterday? I'm not sure I paid the milk bill. Damn, I better do that. What? And then they disappear because where have you been? Oh, it's miles away. So I thought it was quite a good concept. So I was going to read some of it, but would that make a good video? Me reading snippets of my books? Perhaps I could do it like a Jackanory style. Is that a well set up video? Not exactly. I'm going to sit like that. Now I can either reframe the shot, or I can sit like this. This book, by the way, the concept for this book, originally it was the character in it Oregano Silvestri. He's like an immortal caretaker of the universe. And it originated many, many years ago as a play I wrote. It was a one-act play I wrote called Are You Mad? And it was about a mad scientist who was obsessed with insanity. He didn't think he was genuinely insane, so he was trying to find ways to drive himself mad so that he could truly call himself a mad scientist. And that was basically the plot of the whole play. And then I rewrote it a few years later as a two-act play, which I performed. I actually produced it with me playing Silvestri and some friends playing other parts. And it went down all right. It wasn't, the script needed work. We'd sort of went into production too quickly before I really honed the script. And then a few years after that, I wrote a book called Are You Mad? Which was like taking the character and the second play, but using that as just like first few chapters and then building on it and creating this whole new universe. For years after that, I continued thinking about what Silvestri would be if he was beyond the universe. I'd taken him out into the world and made him this sort of like genius mad scientist who could just about do and achieve anything, but just didn't because he couldn't be asked. And then I built it up into this idea that he created his own afterlife because he discovered during his life that the afterlife is made up of whatever you believe in. If each individual's belief is what you get when you go into your afterlife. So if you're an atheist, you kind of fucked yourself, really. But if so he decided, he deliberately started a school of Silvestriism, a religion of Silvestriism, where he was the caretaker of the entire universe from outside, because there's like the scientific universe, and then outside there's the conceptual universe, which is where real creation happens, because you don't need science or solids or physics or mathematics or anything. It's more about creativity and imagination, and the scientific universe lives within that, and he lives in the conceptual universe and watches over the entire scientific universe. And then I wrote that as a script. Actually, I wrote it as a film script in 2012. And I was going to make the film. I started making the film in my garage where I lived at the time with my wife and my kids. And I kitted my garage out all in green cloth. And we were going to do all green screen. I was going to, create backgrounds and stuff like that. And about 90% through filming, I spilt a glass of orange juice on the hard drive that contained all the footage and completely fried it. And lost it, and I'd backed up about 50% of what we'd filmed, and at that point it was just like, it was soul destroying. And also a lot of the actors, we did it like over the summer, and it was coming to the end of the summer if I remember rightly, and a lot of those actors were moving on, some were going to university and stuff like that, because it was mainly students I was using. So that sort of became the end of that. And then years later I took that script, I reread that script after like 5-6 years and thought, this is really good, actually. I shouldn't say that really. Oh, fuck it, I can say whatever I want. I was surprised at how well constructed it was, considering that I don't really worry about structure. I think the reason I don't worry about structure is because it's always kind of there, always sort of happens. So, and then I took that script and I rewrote it as this book. So this book has been a long, 65 million years in the making. From the first one I wrote when I was 18 to this book, which was a couple of years ago, so I was maybe 45, let's say. Let's be generous. And that's the history of what I now call the Thinking Man's Bible, because I thought that was a humorously controversial title. And I'm assuming people understand what I mean by it. The Thinking Man's Bible. It's like when people say, oh, Carol Vorderman was the Thinking Man's Totty. This is the Thinking Man's Bible. It's the Bible for people who have a fucking brain in their heads. I read something weird the other day. I read that 2% of the population of the world have an IQ higher than 130. Now my IQ is 140 something. I don't know what the something is, I can't remember. I was drunk when I did the test. So I can't remember, I just know it was 140 something. Which means I'm in the top 2%. And I find that kind of hard to believe. Most of the people in my life aren't stupid. And some of them I think are smarter than me. It's not like my circle of friends and family are all geniuses, or it's not like I work in a place where you have to be clever in order to work there, or anything like that. I'm pretty much working class, really. Until recently, I've largely worked in shops and pubs and stuff like that. And although a lot of the time people have kind of regarded me as being quite bright and that, I never thought that a lot of the people around me were like considerably more stupid than me. I just kind of thought I have an edge because I've bothered to sort of educate myself a bit. You know, I just thought it was more to do with that. But apparently, I'm in the top 2%. I just don't buy that. But then I guess maybe there's parts of the world where everybody's stupid. You know, Australia. Right, okay, I'm gonna... You know, to affect the balance. Anyway, I'm gonna go now. Sorry, Australia, I hope I haven't lost any friends there.